Hey, it's Ed back with another Clip Studio tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to let the program color for you. It's a little bit strange, doesn't always produce the greatest result, but it's fun and might have interesting applications for your art. So what you need to do is you need to start with at least your own line art or some example line art to work with. I've scanned in a drawing that I did by hand with some pencil and ink, cleaned it up a little bit, uploaded it into Clip Studio, and then I hit edit, convert brightness to opacity, and what that did is it took all the white, turned that into opacity, so that I have just black line art and transparency. And I know I now have another layer here, we're going to use that in a second, but for the most part you can just do this with one layer with mixed success. So you're going to select your layer, your line art layer, go to edit, and then you're going to go to colorize, technology preview, and click colorize all. And what you're not seeing right now is there would be, when you first do this, a pop-up that explains the process and how they have to sort of upload your image to a server and then to kind of run the software on it, and then they download the multiply layer from it and they delete the image. So it creates this multiply layer over here. They just want you to know that they are actually taking your image and doing this, but they're not keeping it and not claim to your copyright or anything like that. And what we get is this. It doesn't look great. As far as I understand, the way this works is it kind of looks for hints for color in the image. I'm not sure how it did that in a grayscale image, but it chose orange, which is cool because it's obviously got a pumpkin on it and it's kind of Halloween themed, so orange and black is very on brand. But I have no idea how it chooses colors. One thing you can do is you can kind of give it some suggestions, and that's what I'm going to show you next. So we're going to delete the layer that it created, and we're going to create another layer below it. I've already created a normal layer here. It's a color layer, and you can see from looking at the preview that I've thrown some colors on it. When I turn it on, you can see I basically took the mono pen over here and I just grabbed a bunch of colors and just threw them in a couple different places that I thought were interesting, with some colors that I thought might work in those areas, just to give it an idea of what colors to work with and where to sort of massage and blur and spread these things out. So let's see what happens. In order to do this method, what you need to do is you need to set your line art to a reference layer by clicking the lighthouse icon up here in your layers palette, and then clicking on that color hint layer, and it should work fine. So we're going to go to edit, and we're going to colorize, use hint image, and colorize. And it pretty consistently produces this. I've done a couple tests of this and you get the same result when you do this by default. So it's using some consistent markers to create this each time. I'm not sure what they are, but it's using them. So you get this kind of blurred multiply layer, same thing you would get in the other case, but with more colors. If we turn off the line art, you get this kind of trippy, almost looks like a old 1960s film that's wearing out, like an old cartoon or something, like those old Hobbit cartoons, you know? So that's kind of cool. And this is set to multiply so that you can still see your line art through it, which is good because that's what you want. But let's say that this isn't quite what we wanted. There's two other ways you can tweak this. So I'm just going to delete it again. Go through the same process, except this time we're going to, I always go past it. There we go. We're going to go to use more advanced settings. And this will, as far as I know, will only work if you have this hinted layer and the line art set as a reference. I think if you were to click it otherwise, it would not work. And what we're going to get initially is the same image we got before. But what we can do is we can mess with the different amounts here. So you might have different values when you start. You know, this might be set to like 100. You know, I actually think by default this one might have been set to 100, 2, and 1. And you can just kind of mess with, you can make the blur stronger or weaker. So let's make it stronger just to see what that looks like. And then if we were to say up the blur accuracy, and you can also use these sliders here, so you get an idea of, like, it looks like we can only go up to maybe 7 for the accuracy. And removing main lines, similarly, we can adjust. and it gives us different results. So you can keep tweaking this till you're done. You could just click OK right now. I think that looks pretty good. I might just click it OK and save it, but let's do it again real quick with the other options. Colorize it, set this to the original options here. Yours might be different. I don't know if this is specific to this image or what, but this is what it gave me the first time that I did this. And then this is really resource intensive, but this, I'll show you what you can do here. You can also get a little bit nerdier and more fine-grained with your tweaking of the colors. If you click this Analyze Colors and Colorize, I'm going to click it, but I'm going to have to probably edit like 20 seconds out of the video to handle it. So that took 23 seconds that I cut out to actually pop up this box. And what it gives you is it gives you curves for each of the colors, and you can reset them individually or reset all of them, get a preview here. And then also you have colorize areas without hints as well. You can turn that on. But if we just pick a color like this green, and then we mess with the curve a little bit, we can get different effects. These are pretty much anchored over here. You can see how this is kind of bogging down my computer. I have a decent setup, but it just seems very intensive, which, you know, and actually, to be honest, when I've messed with this, I haven't really been able to improve that much on the original image that it gave me. So you just stick with the defaults. So this is kind of the one that I just tweaked, but if I turn this one on, this is the one that we had before with just a few moderate tweaks. So kind of cool. I haven't really explored all the applications of this, but I bet there's some really neat things. If you work with, you know, non-flat colors for your hints, you might get some interesting changes and shades and things like that. So it's worth like playing around with a little bit, and who knows, maybe you'll discover a way that you can really quickly color your comics doing this. So you know, what do you got to lose? It's digital art. You don't have to pay for any canvases you ruin or anything like that, so you might as well. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and please like, subscribe, all that junk you're supposed to do at the end of these things, and I will see you next time.